Well, it's good to have everybody on this morning if you're on the Pacific Coast, or afternoon if you're here on the East Coast. So the great thing about this training is we can go a little bit deeper into the various topics, because it is not a marketing video or used in conjunction with a specific promotion for a medical device. So we can really tap into the true benefits of what this is capable of. And once you understand that, you will understand why there really is no competition with our iMRS Prime, and specifically when comparing whole body mats. We're going to break it down into specific applicators and specific accessories as we go on through this series. We'll do the Hexagon Brain, we'll do the Hexagon Sense. And today's focus is really going to be on why there's no competition, and particularly with the whole body mat. My focus particularly is as a naturopath. So a naturopath's primary focus is always to increase the body's vitality. And accompanied with my training with transcranial magnetic stimulation, heart rate variability, and bioresonance, my focus has become utilizing frequencies, vibrations, and oscillations. And this is all achieved through induction, resonance, and radiant transfer. None of the health benefits, nothing happens unless you are able to accomplish with your PMF device induction, resonance, and radiant transfer. And that is where everything happens. So if you can accomplish that task, any of the health benefits that you read in the research, which we're going to review some, will be achieved. So focusing on just accomplishing induction, resonance, and radiant transfer, and you can know that if you have a great area on this just by utilizing the Hexagon Sense. So let's take a little look here into this and a little bit deeper. The efficiency, because we are dealing with physics, the efficiency is always determined by waveform or signal shape, the field strength, how strong the magnetic field is being delivered, the frequencies utilized, and is it able to achieve resonance. When all of this happens together, coherence, biological coherence happens with inside the body. And when you have coherence, it's related to homeostasis, and it is all working in a unified information system. Remember, frequencies is information. So what information is being sent by your PMF unit into your body? It's very important, because you need not only the right frequencies, but also you need to have sharp rise and fall times in order to create induction. And that is how you're able to utilize the benefits of Faraday's law of induction and the principle of resonance to achieve health benefits. And all of this happens when you look to nature and you see what frequencies and what field strengths are being communicated through nature. In a previous lecture, Dr. Tong had mentioned once that the meridians are the antenna of the body. And I did a little bit of research, and this is how some determine the various signals, the various frequencies that the different organs utilize. And what has happened is that the lower frequencies drive the higher frequencies. So when you're utilizing alpha, beta, delta, theta, you're able to create the triple harmonics. With a triple sawtooth waveform, you're able to do the upper and lower harmonics. So when you're laying on that whole body mat and you're using a complex waveform that is able to generate upper and lower harmonics, you are signaling to all the biological windows in your whole entire body, because the complex waveforms can create frequency spectrums that are able to generate all of the upper and lower frequencies, their harmonics, through the principle of resonance, through utilizing the body's resonant frequency. So the PMF unit is tuning into the body in order to optimize the biological windows. So when somebody's a competitor's unit says that we can increase circulation in healthy leg muscles, I mean, every PMF unit that is registered and regulated with the FDA can increase circulation. That is one of the claims with every class 1 FDA registered and regulated PMF product is increasing circulation in healthy leg muscles or healthy legs. So there's nothing new about that. That's old news. We've known that since the 70s. What this is about is going deeper, because now in 2021, we have the technology to be able to read the various frequencies, various organs, and various systems are actually communicating. And when we can tap into this biofeedback, we can then learn where we would need to establish harmony within the system, establish resonance, establish induction. And because we are utilizing complex waveforms with the primary intention of delivering the frequency spectrums that resonate with the biological windows, we are able to virtually affect every single cell in the entire body with one whole body treatment, where the competitor treats healthy leg muscles, period. That's what they treat, healthy leg muscles. It is not competition. It's old news. We've known that information since the 70s. So what we are exploring into is how we can create coherence with inside of the body. The body is a systems information processing server. Communication from the brain happens in sawtooth waveforms. And the reason is because a sawtooth waveform, like I keep saying, has the ability to create the upper and lower harmonics. And every single organ system, every single organ group connects through various harmonics from these sawtooth signals delivered by the brain. So you are able to virtually communicate with the entire organism, the entire body. So you are transferring energy, you're transferring information, and you're helping the body move substances through. You're creating the energy in order to drive the metabolic processes. Stimulating healthy leg muscles does not do that. What else this device can do is, utilizing a fast start, you can tap into the Savecchio scales. And these are known as the miracle wave. It has a deep-rooted relationship with nature. And there's a lot of debate going on with the Savecchio scales right now, because what they're discovering is that it is actually not, or a hypothesis of what they're debating is that it is actually not notes that are played in the Savecchio scales, but it was actually nodes of your meridians that respond to these particularly hertz, these particularly signals. So when you utilize the Savecchio scales, which are ancient and known before time, that these provide positive signals to the body. And there is a lot of hypothesis that it was mistranslated into notes, and that it should actually have been nodes. And these nodes are the nodes on the meridians. And these are the hertz that correspond and are picked up, as Dr. Tong says, by the antennas of the meridians. So I encourage you, one of your whole body mat sessions, try the fast start and try the Savecchio scales. There's no competitor who also is able to accomplish that. They're one-trick ponies. We treat healthy leg muscles, one-trick pony. The other thing the iMRS Prime whole body mat can do is it has the ability to utilize balance. As we have explained, the body operates in various frequencies throughout. So if you're really trying to work on the total organism holistically, you need to be able to provide a system that can deliver a whole frequency spectrum based on a 24-hour circadian rhythm. And the only device that can do that is the iMRS Prime. There is no competition out there. And the way it is able to do this is it can utilize all the morning, night, evening, and afternoon frequency settings, and it will go through all of these frequency spectrums within a 24-minute period. And when it does this, it provides total balance to the body. It is signaling every single biological window in an organism system in one fast start program. Tell me what other PMF unit can do that, and definitely not any PMF units, and definitely not any PMF units you wear on your wrist. The other area is the principle of resonance. And this is also where bioresonance comes into play. And what has happened here is that when you establish coherence, every cell in your body, in your organ, has a clock. And when those clocks get out of rhythm, you are desynchronized, you're out of sync, you're out of sorts, you're foggy, you have poor cognitive function, poor movements, poor reaction time. And you can see here on the left-hand side, energy homeostasis, endocrine hormones, stem cell function, synaptic activity, metabolism, and immunity. All of these things are controlled by being in coherence because your body has to communicate. When you have two cell phone calls and they're not in coherence, you always hear, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And you don't want your liver saying, can you hear me, to your brain. And with the ability to recreate what nature, what the creator has already put into our environments, utilizing the frequencies which are known and inspired by nature, you are able to synchronize through the principle of resonance and create coherence with inside of the body on the level of a tissue, on the level of the cells, on the organ level, and even on cognitive behavior and emotions. And all of this is able to be interpreted and read through bioresonance. The other ability is, or another example is I wanted to demonstrate to you, is what coherence looks like. So on the right-hand side, you can see two signals. Now you could be decoherent because you have poor amplitude, and you could also have a decoherence because you have a poor wavelength, or the frequencies are not matching. They're uncoupled, decoupled. So you want them coupled. So how do you get them coupled? The iMRS prime can create a resonant field that has the ability to couple frequencies. Another word for that is entraining frequencies. So you're able to put the body back into coherence. You're able to establish the call back together so your kidneys and your brains are not trying to hear each other. They are able to hear each other loud and clear. On the left-hand side here on the bottom is a very interesting chart which talks about the various frequencies that are utilized by the body. So when the brain utilizes alpha, beta, delta, theta, and it communicates down through the information system, down through the brain stem and the spine, the signals then become signaled by harmonics, and the harmonics pick it up. And on the bottom here, you are showing what frequencies are being utilized. This can be analyzed through heart rate variability, which we have the ability to do with the hexagon sense. Tell me what other competitor can do that. So on the upper left-hand side, we're also showing that there is a gastric rhythm. Your digestion could be uncoupled from the rest of your body, and that could produce digestive issues. So how do we couple? How do we try to entrain the breathing rhythms, the gastric rhythms, your heart rhythms, all within coherence so the body is operating in harmony, in resonance, in coherence? Another reason why this is important is when you walk into an area, an environment with artificial negative EMFs. If your body is strengthened, is coupled, you will be able to manage that and have a less severe reaction based on someone else who is more susceptible to decoupling, to interference, to stressful signaling. Here's another representation of the peripheral rhythms and how all of these clocks need to align, how it aligns utilizing light, how it aligns using darkness, how it aligns using different rhythms from the heart, from a heart rate variability, from the gastric rhythm. All of this comes together in order to synchronize the body. And all of this happens through Faraday's law of induction and the principle of resonance. And if you include the hybrid mode, radiant transfer. The hybrid, there's no competition with the hybrid because we are using the power of the growth spectrum, the growth rhythm of 3 to 14 microns in order to deliver far infrared in conjunction with the PMF. Because in our natural environment, we just don't get Schumann resonances or a resonance from the geomagnetic spectrum. During the day, we also get resonating frequencies from the sun. So the ingenious of the iMRS prime hybrid is including all of the energies that are inspired by nature to synchronize the human organism for the benefit of prolonging your health span. Here is an example of how the master clock within the brain, utilizing sawtooth waveforms, in each system is able to pick up with its antennas, with its cells, the various harmonics of the frequency delivered through the master clock in the brain. So when you're utilizing a complex waveform, a sawtooth waveform on your whole body mat, you are able to create the upper and lower harmonics, which signal the various clocks and create resonance and energy within the system. It's a miracle, really, when you see how fine-tuned the human body is. And there is so much information coming out the University of California in Irvine. There was a whole new article based on how our clocks control various aspects of homeostasis and how organs coordinate their function over the course of the day. And one of the lead postdoctoral students at the UCI School of Medicine had reported, subconsciously, our bodies keep time for us through an ancient means, the circadian clock. A complex organism clock function starts with the genetically encoded molecular clock or oscillator with each cell and builds upward atomically into an organism-wide system. What is fascinating is that every cell that makes up our organs has its own clock. And this timing is a crucial aspect to our biology. So what other whole body mat out there can tap into this and deliver each cell's clocks the specific frequencies that those clocks respond to? Whole body mats and competitors that are one-trick ponies and only can treat healthy leg muscles cannot accomplish this task. They don't have complex waveforms. They're not utilizing various frequency spectrums. What they're noticing is that where you are on the geomagnetic planet affects your resident frequency. So anyone who tells you, oh, we have a frequency that cures this, well, where on the planet does it actually work? Because every area, frequencies are adjusted based on the geomagnetic location. And when you really even think about how it all aligns, that the fact that deciphering this means that the clocks communicate across metabolic organisms, and it really is transferring our understanding of how you can hold therapeutic innovations such as magnetic resonance systems and use them for non-invasive strategies to promote health. And that is what we're doing here. We are using non-invasive strategies to promote health and increase the health span of an individual. And when you go to the, or when you think about that, the fact that the University of California in Irvine has a whole department focused on the circadian clock of the body, you know that this is the future. This is highly important because they're detecting this to various forms of diseases and illness, such as cancer. They're detecting the circadian rhythm having effects on the prostate and prostate cancer. And there are even other areas such as the WHO had actually at one time and may still have determined circadian desynchrony, meaning that what happens to people who work night shift as a carcinogenic, meaning that people who alter their circadian rhythms, it could produce a carcinogenic effect within the body, and it is a warning from the World Health Organization. You'd be surprised what are warnings from the World Health Organization. Another area, which is one of the grandfathers of pulsed electromagnetic fields, is Dr. Robert O. Becker. The greatest polluting element in the Earth's environment is the proliferation of the electromagnetic fields. I consider that to be a far greater threat on a global scale than warming or the increase of chemical elements in the environment. This is changing the frequencies, the energies that the body is responding to. And just as we are depleted in nutrition from poor food quality, we are deficient in our ability to resonate, to go out in nature and ground. 100 years ago, yes, you probably could go out into nature and ground. In 2021, probably not. There's where you're going to go to have no outside interference from the polluted and proliferated electromagnetic field that is in our environment. The picture here on the left shows the hole that is developing in the electromagnetic field on 2014. We know that our electromagnetic field protects us from the sun's radiation. So what's going to happen here? What is happening here? Increasing your own electromagnetic field through the use of a home magnetic resonance system may, on some level, provide some protection against this. It is still hypothetical, it is still exploratory, but every cell creates an electromagnetic field. The body creates an electromagnetic field. Some call this the aura. I've uncovered how the living cell can connect to the spirit through some various research. And one of the proposed reasons why traditional medicine is not necessarily able to decipher all of the wonders of magnetic fields is because most of the magic happens when the two magnetic fields communicate to each other. And most researchers are looking into the physical matter and what has happened, but the magic is actually happening between the magnetic fields and their communication. So it's going to repeat real quick. The hexagon brain has the ability to utilize binarial beats. Binarial beats is referred to utilizing specific frequencies as the God frequency. Reason, sound is the bridge between God and the soul. What competitor can provide all the energies from the electromagnetic spectrum, far infrared, pulse electromagnetic fields, utilize this to create induction, resonance, and radiant transfer in the whole entire organism that is able to treat the body from the level of a cell all the way up to the level of the individual's aura, their spirit. And we can determine all of this, and we can show that this is happening through heart rate variability and bioresonance. On the right-hand side is where they're showing various research that shows based on what frequency range your HRV is in the high frequency range, the low frequency range, they can connect this to gastric networks. They can connect this to your retinals. And so if you know that these are the ranges that is happening when your gastric rhythm, your gastric range is working, you can see, okay, these are the ranges that I am getting in heart rate variability and create the correlation. So what other ability does the competitor have with their product to take it on a deeper level such as this? And if all of this is really of no interest to you, all you have to do is lie on it. And this will all happen without your knowledge or awareness or believing in it at all. It will all just happen. And if your PMF mat is constructed like this is no competition. Don't even ask me about these products, because if that is how they're delivering the frequencies to your body, we don't even need to discuss it. It's not even competition.